Good morning, everyone. I am Lesley Myrick, interior designer and associate coach, and I am here with Megan Dahle, and we have a great money topic for you today, and that is sales tax. How to
Ew.
handle
Ew.
the annoying
Ew.
business. Good morning, Megan. How are you?
Good
What's going on
morning,
in your
Leslie.
world today?
Oh, many things. It's a lovely, cool morning. Got to enjoy breakfast and coffee with my husband, and I am kind of looking at my calendar today and going, I love everything I get to do today.
That is a great place to be in business and life. I love it.
Yeah,
And of
yeah.
course, then you're coming in with this topic that is sales tax.
Ew.
David, sales tax. So why are we talking about sales tax today? Because
Because it's a band-aid. Let's just rip this band-aid. It takes so much mental energy. Let's just rip this sucker off.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Let's do this. Let's do
I've
this.
got my strong coffee. I'm buckled up and ready for this.
Let's first just be aware that every state is going to be different. I'm not going to delve into the intricacies of every state because it's going to be very it's different from wherever you're at. But there are a few things that I want you to be aware of and give yourself permission to like have like I am going to worry about this for a half hour once a month at this given time. Okay. And if you know the rules ahead of time and you know what to worry about in that container, you can kind of let it go for the
Yeah,
rest of the time. Okay. So first of all, one, get a sales tax license.
that seems basic, but I'm glad that you say that because
Okay.
yes, not everyone knows just having your business license or opening your business legally in your state, province, country, whatever,
Yeah.
does not automatically entitle you to collect and remit sales tax. I'm glad you
Right.
pointed that out. You need a resale certificate. Is that the same thing as a
100%.
resale certificate?
It could be, it might
Okay.
be. Here in South Dakota, it is. It's considered the same thing. You use the same number, but like your business license and your sales tax license are two different departments. At least here it is. And
Mhm.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know of any place that it is the same department. So it's definitely most likely that it's going to be two different state departments. You've got your registrar, your secretary of state, and then you have your Department of Revenue, and they don't really talk to each other.
So they are two separate things. So just having a legal business and opening your sole proprietorship, your LLC, is not the same thing as having your sales tax license paperwork, whatever we're
Right.
calling it.
Right. And here in South Dakota, it's a license. Like you get the little thing,
Yeah.
the certificate, and it's got your number on it and says you are certified to do the thing. Okay, so once we have the license, you should also know the tempo at which you need to report your sales tax. It might be annual,
Mm-hmm.
semi-annual, like twice a year. It might be quarterly. It might be monthly. Or if you're in California, it's this weird thing
It's
where it's like, about every month, just don't screw it up.
can we back up half a second? Because I just realized I know we're steamrolling with sales tax. I want to make sure everyone understands that this is different than income tax and sales tax. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is business owner Lesley, not tax professional Lesley. Sales tax is what you do when you purchase things wholesale without tax and sell to your clients and then charge the sales tax. But that is not your money. You simply hold on to it and give it back to the government.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you for that clarification. Thank you. Thank you. And there are nuances in there. You are correct. You're about 70% of the way there, but there are states and there are scenarios where that is a little wiggly.
Mm,
Okay? So let's put a pin in that for now and just
okay.
so if you know your tempo, you know when you're supposed to file sales tax. Now I want you to put a reminder on your calendar at the beginning of the month after your sales tax are due or the quarter after your sales tax are due to just put that half hour block on your calendar and make it a recurring thing. So if you are reporting annually, you put a reminder at the 2nd of January to do your sales tax. If it is semi-annually, you're going to put it in January and July. It's going to be the week after that period ends. Okay? Okay. The second thing is understanding what exactly is taxable.
Okay. This is where it gets, we're going to need coffee for this one. Go.
Yeah. I just had to take a deep breath. Okay. So, depending on what state you are in,
Hmm.
what you tax is different. And it might be that only the product is taxable, and it might be that the design services itself is taxable. And it might be that if you invoice these together, your design is taxable, whereas if you would invoice them separately, your design is not taxable. Okay.
Yes.
So this is what I want you to do here. I cannot answer this for you. I would love for you all to be members of IDS or some sort of society. Hey!
Convenient tie-in today. I've got the shirt on.
Be a part of a peer group.
Yeah.
Where there are people who have gone ahead of you who understand this, where you can just ask, like, am I supposed to be taxing design? Am I supposed to be taxing? Or you can call your Department of Revenue and start asking questions. A lot of people are like, I don't want to talk to them. I know that you're in my home state, and I've even like had clients in New York. The Department of Revenue is very helpful. They want you to do it right because it is a headache for them too when you do it wrong. Okay. So they're rooting for you. It may not feel like it, but they are rooting for you to do this right coming out of the gate.
And if you set aside that half an hour to worry every so often, this can be part of that, is just make that call and ask those questions and write it all down. That way you know the answer. And you don't have to keep worrying about, am I charging the right tax in the right way for the right services or products? And then you've got those answers, because the more this sits there and worry, the less you know about it, the more anxiety inducing it is.
Yeah. Bang on. Exactly. Yeah. Now, the next step is going to be to actually set up your systems so that the tax is right out of the gate. On the invoices, the taxes are right. And if it is that you are taxing the product, if you are using Studio Designer, if you are using QuickBooks, if you are using design files, there is a setup for the product that is this taxable, yes or no? And there is a checkbox even on the line of the invoices that, for this client, because they're out of state or whatever it is, it's not taxable. You can uncheck that box. Just be diligent on your invoices of, yes, this is taxable. No, this part is not taxable.
Well, yeah, because even if you forget to charge tax, you still owe the government that money. It just comes out of your pocket, or you have to go back to the client later and be like, hey, excuse me, I need to charge you tax for this that I forgot. And we all like, that's an uncomfortable conversation.
It is an uncomfortable conversation. I've had many clients that have had to have that conversation because sales tax can be a good chunk of change.
Yes. Right? And you owe it regardless, whether you did it correctly or not. The government still wants their sales tax money for those goods that you sold.
Money.
Exactly.
Okay. And so this last piece is going to be your relationship with your vendors.
Okay.
Many times I see interior designers thinking that they don't have to charge sales tax because they paid their vendor the sales tax.
Okay, so this would be like if you're purchasing wholesale and something gets messed up and they don't have your resale certificate and they charge you tax, or maybe you're buying a retail product where you're not tax exempt. So you go to Home Goods and you buy some vases and you pay tax in the store. So say more about that. So you've already paid tax. So some people say, I already paid the tax. I don't owe the
tax. Okay. Again, something that's going to differ by state. Just because you paid tax on the $100 item, so you paid $110 instead of $100, but you charged your client $150, doesn't mean the sales tax is paid. The sales tax needs to be paid on the $150 that you charged your client. Some states allow you to keep the receipts and say, see, I paid the sales tax on the $100 portion. Here's the rest of it on the $50. What a massive pain in the butt.
That sounds like an accounting nightmare.
Accounting nightmare. Draw the line in the sand that you either do not pay sales tax or you are going to pay the sales tax on the whole thing. Like you're just, I paid my vendor the sales tax, but I'm going to charge my person the sales tax. The state's going to get double, but trust me, that $10 is not worth 45 minutes to an hour of your life trying to track all of that. Not worth it.
I love that point of view, Megan, because it's easy to get hung up on like, well, I don't want to double charge. I'm losing money. But say if your billable rate is $200 and you spend half an hour to an hour trying to resolve this on your back end,
Mm-hmm.
you've lost $100 to $200 in billable time, and your sales tax probably isn't even close to that. Just pay the tax and move on with your life.
Exactly. Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah. So you're not like cherry picking on invoices of what do I charge sales tax on? What do I don't charge? If it's product, you charge sales tax if that's what it is in my state. If it's design services, you charge sales tax if that's what it is in my state. You don't want your clients to see the sausage get made. So if there's weird things on the invoices about the sales tax, that's going to open up a can of worms of a discussion that is not worth your time to have. It's just not worth your time to have. So if you can set up understanding the tempo of your sales tax, understand what is taxable, and set up your systems in design files and QuickBooks, and to have those check marks in what is taxable and what's not taxable, what to invoice separately for design versus product, you are well on your way.
Love
QuickBooks does a beautiful job of tracking your sales tax. It really does. Like I have a lot of qualms with QuickBooks, even though I still use it. I still recommend it. It's the easiest one to use, even though it's not the easiest thing in the world to use.
It's kind of the industry standard for this and multiple industries, I would say.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The sales tax, they do a lovely job. It does a lovely job if you have it set up on the front end correctly.
That's the key. And that's something you can always ask your bookkeeper or CPA about, setting it up properly, because you're right. If it's not set up properly at the beginning, you are likely going to have headaches when it does come time to create those reports in QuickBooks to submit to your state, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Especially when you're like crossing county lines with delivery and QuickBooks is calculating it as if it were in your office instead of at the client's place. QuickBooks does location-based sales tax beautifully. Highly recommend.
Now, I'm in a destination state. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically I have to charge tax to where the stuff is going, not where my office is. And I have clients in many counties within a couple-hour radius. So it sucks. But it's worth the 5 minutes to do the research, find out the county, set it up, and then I know it's taken care of from there on out.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. And I
think too bad.
Great. Put the recurring event in your calendar, in your Asana, in your ClickUp, whatever system that you use to remind yourself of recurring business tasks. Don't let this fall through the cracks, because I promise you, if you don't give the government the money, they're going to come looking, and that is a whole nother pain in the booty thing you don't want to deal with. I think that's probably the number one tip that I took from this, Megan. Put it in your calendar, make it recurring right after the end of your tax period, whether it's monthly, quarterly, annually. Don't forget to do it. That's what it comes down to. Don't forget you owe tax by a certain date.
Yes.
Over and over again.
And if you are in this case, like I've had people come to me like, well, I haven't been charging sales tax for the last 2 years. You're going to want a sales tax expert on your side, whether that is a CPA or there are sales tax experts. Even we have them in South Dakota. One of my good friends is a sales tax expert that will come and help you unwind that stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I love that too. Get the help you need. Don't feel stuck in this. It is not worth you worrying about this for weeks or months. Invest a little bit of money, hire the right person, solve the problem, and move on. This is not where your energy is best spent. Like a lot of us designers, like some people are numbers people and they love it. I'm not. It makes me want to cry. So yes, put some money at the problem, get it resolved. Don't let sales tax be a burden in your business, because it's happening whether you like it or not. And you might as well just figure out how to do it the best you possibly can to stay on top of things.
100%.
This wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. No. Yeah. Half hour of pain every month at the worst. You know, that's what, 6 hours of your life?
Well, that's it. And depending on your revenue, usually the sales tax submitting, giving back to the government is, my understanding, is based on revenue. So if you make a ton of money, you probably have to file every month. If you're a newer business and you're chugging along, but you're not making an absolute ton, you might only have to do this once every 6 months or once a year. But don't forget about it. Just get it in your regular rotation. I love that. Worry about it for that half hour. Don't worry about it until then, and then let it go and move on doing the amazing design work that you get paid. Yes.
Do that.
Do that. I love it. Thank you for ripping off the Band-Aid and making it slightly less scary, because it's
You're
not a
so
sexy
welcome. I hope
topic.
that just stung for a second.
Yes, no, this great tips. And Megan, your website is a great wealth of information. You are a great wealth of information. So if anyone is interested in learning more about the services you have, I know you've got your cool bookkeeping club to help people out with things like this, which is amazing. She is at megandahle.com, which you will see at the top of the screen there. Any last words about sales tax or money that us designers who don't like it should know?
It's not as hard as you're making it out to be.
Oh, I like that. Okay. No, that's true. I think we do make this the big scary monster, and it isn't. It just needs to become a normal part of our business back end routine, and then we can move on with our lives.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Well, ew, Megan, this wasn't so bad. So thank you. And we will see you next month for more money management tips for your interior design business. Bye, everyone.
Exactly.